It's Ross American Grill, and it's an independent concept, and maybe after we're not on anything, I can show you some renditions, some drawings, but don't tell.
Now, what's the food? I mean,
So you said what?
Good, they have bourbon and beer,
I
hello.
meant,
No, I All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order for the regular board meeting for the Greenview Board of Education for Thursday, June 16th, 2022. Please call the roll.
Suzanne Arthur,
Here.
Scott Powers,
present,
Angela Reagan,
Here.
Megan Smith,
Here.
Teresa Wallace.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving right along. Item number 2, recognition of invited guests.
None this evening.
All right. Item number 3, invitation for public participation. Did I check?
well, I didn't go check because most of it's staff here.
Okay.
Don't believe
They might
so.
have something to say.
Item number 4, approve the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, we have added an addendum. That is at the back of your packet. Item number 6 under new business. And there is an associated job description behind the addendum. And then we have added an item to personnel, item number 21. Additionally, we have struck a few items under the treasurer's report. Please strike item number 8 and number 9. We still have additional work to be done on those items. You'll note that they do need to be done by the 30th. So we might have to talk about it in the future, maybe a short special session. So just couldn't get all of that together. We needed some additional time. And then item number, under new business, please strike item number 3. Those are addendums regarding Juneteenth to the superintendent and treasurer contracts. Legal has to actually revise those and take care of those, and those haven't been returned yet. So you'll probably see that on our July agenda. It's a full agenda, so not too many modifications.
Please call the roll.
Suzanne Arthur,
Actually, we didn't
I'm
do a
sorry.
motion.
I'll
I'm
move.
sorry. Scott.
I'll second.
Scott and Teresa. Okay, I'm sorry. Please call the roll.
Suzanne Arthur,
Yes,
Angela Reagan.
Yes.
Megan Smith,
Yes.
Scott Powers.
Yeah,
Teresa Wallace.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, item number 5, it says presentation. None. So we will move right along to item number 6, which is the treasurer's report. Number 1, approve the minutes from the regular board meeting, May 18th, 2022. Number 2, approve the May financial reports. Number 3, approve the following donations: $15,000 from Neil West for the furthering of the engineering programs at Greenview High School. B, $1,115 in donations for the Terry Pickering Scholarship. Donor list included in board packet. Number 4, approve the exempt central office staff, district technology coordinator, maintenance supervisor, and food service supervisor compensation increase effective July 1, 22 to June 30, 2025 per the updated salary schedule. Item A, 2022 to 2023 school year is a 2.5% increase on base. Item B, 2023-2024 school year, 2.5% increase on the base. Item C, 2024-2025 school year, 2.25 increase on the base. Item number 5, approve the administrator compensation increase effective August 1, 2022 to July 31, 2025 per the updated salary schedule. A is the 22-23 school year, 2.25% increase on base. B, 23-24 school year, 2.25% increase on base. C, 2024-2025 school year, 2.0% increase on the base. Item number 6, approve the updated administrator fringe benefits. Item number 7, approve the resolution to provide a COVID-19 pay bonus in the amount of $1,000 to all Greenview employees for the unprecedented disruption and increased workload across multiple classifications of employment during the pandemic. Moving on to item 10, approve the temporary appropriations for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2023. Number 11, approve the return of the $60,000 advance made to the food service fund in October of 21 back to the general fund. Number 12, approve the authorization of the treasurer to make advances from the general fund to other funds as needed to clear deficit balances for the end of the fiscal year. The treasurer shall report the actual amount of the advances to the board at the regular July meeting. Item number 13, approve resolution for property tax advances. Item number 14, the treasurer reports the following advances of funds were made on May 30th, 2022 to eliminate negative fund balances. They will be repaid during June of 2022. This is the general fund 001 to the high school principal staff fund and 381.65. The general fund 001 to the middle school principal staff fund, 760.10 cents. General fund to the class of 2022, $4,140.97. General fund 01 to the middle school track fund, $900. General fund 001 to the music fund, $76. General fund 001 to high school athletics, $39,942.14. General fund 001 to data connectivity fiscal year 21, $11,856. General fund 001 to ESSER 1 fiscal year 21, $2,813.70. General fund 001 to ESSER 2 fiscal year 22, $216,743.70. General fund 001 ARP ESSER fund fiscal year 22, $92,831. General fund 001 IDEA Part B fiscal year 22, $11,339.92. Oh, there's more. Okay. General fund 001 to Title I fund fiscal year 20, $2,362.32. General fund 001 to Title I fiscal year 21 for $27,499.52. General fund 001 to Title I fiscal year 22 for $2,749.38. General fund 001 to the early childhood education for fiscal year 21 and $18.62. General fund 001 to Title II A fiscal year 21, $7,022.19. General fund 001 Title II A for fiscal year 22, $1,921.75. General fund 001 Title IV A fiscal year 21, $400.79. breathe. Do I have a motion? Then we can discuss.
Okay.
Okay, Megan Smith. And the second,
I'll second.
Teresa. Okay, discussion? Questions?
If I may jump in, for items number 4, 5, and 7. So starting with item number 4, so under new business, there's a recommendation to ask you to approve the classified staff, the agreement between the Board of Education and the GCEA. Within that negotiated agreement, that 3-year negotiated agreement is a salary increase that looks like, that mirrors number 4. So the reason that you're seeing this here is that our exempt central office staff, our district our technology coordinator, maintenance supervisor, food service supervisor, their contract mostly mirrors, especially Ms. Smith as a new board member, I'm learning as I go too, that their contract mostly mirrors that of the classified. And so traditionally, then they have received the same salary increase as our classified staff.
Yeah.
And so similarly, like for item number 5, the administrator compensation increase, again, past practice in this district is that administrators have followed the increases of the certified staff or the teachers. So again, later approving that contract, you'll see the same, or within that contract are the same salary increases. So that's why you see different numbers for different personnel there. And then item number 7, as part of the bargaining agreement with the certified teaching staff between the Board of Education and GEA, part of that bargaining process was the $1,000 stipend. After further conversation, Inga and myself, I mean, we really feel strongly that all of the employees in the district were certainly impacted by COVID and the unprecedented disruption and the workload associated with that. So we're making the recommendation as part of the resolution to ensure that all of our employees actually get the $1,000 bonus. And that would come out of those ESSER dollars that we did receive from the federal government. So
Yeah, I think that would be fair.
I didn't know if there were any other questions or if Ms. Fisher wanted to.
The advances that are on there, those are mostly due to timing issues, and most of them are federal grant funds, so we have to request the funds from the state, and then they reimburse us. So that's what the majority of those are. Then the resolution for property tax advances, I kind of wanted to explain that a little bit. The county auditor will advance us tax monies every so often. But I just wanted to make sure that I attended a training and they recommended that we have a resolution that allows us to accept those funds. So we didn't get into a spot where, well, you didn't approve that you were going to be getting those funds and they couldn't advance them to us. So I wanted to make sure we were covered there.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Is there a policy that you have to give us the printed off minutes from last time?
They
Or,
should be in there.
I know that they're in.
I know
there.
they're
Oh,
emailed to
What
us.
you emailed to us, do we need to have it here? Because we can save paper. I don't need them in my board packet since I read them at home.
You know, we might be looking at maybe a more digital platform to conduct our meetings.
Well, and I was
moving
talking
forward.
about the check, I was gonna ask about the check registries as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah,
Sure.
So, I mean, if we can save paper,
Yeah.
save some trees, cool.
save some
this
ink.
planet a little bit.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
That's
We-
fine.
Yeah, that's
But I
perfect.
didn't know if, I'm sure we need a couple copies out there for the audience, but I just.
And then, of course, we post them after the board meeting once they're approved. But yeah, we're looking at a digital platform. We'll be taking a look here in June and July here at district office about a way in which we can do that. And I think it would save on not just paper, but efficiencies too.
Mhm.
Something that's web-based that can be accessible privately, you know, for us as members of the Board of Ed, for you as members of the Board of Education, but also for the public as well. A place where they can go and they don't have to wait on a post, you know, to the website or things
Okay.
like that. So, to be continued.
Any other questions? No, please call the roll.
Andrew Reagan,
Yes.
Megan Smith,
Yes.
Scott Powers,
Yeah,
Teresa Wallace.
Yes.
Dan Arthur.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 7, superintendent's update, teaching and learning, facilities and operations.
Okay, so our credit recovery program at the high school started, last week. They've got a little over 10 participants that are participating at the high school. Our summer school programming for students entering grades 1 through 9 started this week. Monday was the first day. We have over 110 students participating in that
That's great.
program. So
how's the
Yeah.
air conditioning going on?
is it not too bad? I mean, it's hotter.
Are they going to the,
My house can't keep up either,
Come
so
on,
I
me
don't
neither.
know.
are they going
I
to
think
the
your furnace
elementary
mine's
or are they?
They're at the middle school. Yeah, yeah, they're at
was
the middle
wondering if
school.
That was it.
And also the first day of our data dive with our teachers that are in tested areas took place last week. The next day to have teachers come in is June 22nd, and then we have another day in August as well. And we are compensating those teachers to come in and spend their time and taking a deep dive into their data and planning for future instruction and looking at patterns and trends to help inform their future teaching. Last week, when we closed out the school year with our administrators, we spent the entire time just simply reflecting, visioning, and planning for the next school year. So I'll be sharing more of that with you at a later time as well, but some closure in terms of just, putting management aside and thinking about the teaching and learning pieces as we move forward. And also to just kind of maybe tie to, if you remember, kind of back to that SHP presentation, how they would be helping us with some pieces with the facility planning, but the teaching and learning piece would live within the district. So that is kind of starting to take shape a little bit. Facilities maintenance is still getting a handle on what the workload is. I meet with our maintenance supervisor, touch base with him almost daily, and figuring out the mowing and keeping, taking care of the fields and all of the pieces associated with maintaining our grounds, but also getting them ready for the school year to start. Painting finished up on the field house over here. So it does have a bright new look. We want to make sure that we get in there this summer and also do a thorough cleaning. And I've also asked to take a look at some of the clutter and maybe the ways in which that we can organize our awards and trophies within there to, again, just declutter and tighten up the organization a little bit. To your point, Mr. Powers, at our administrative meeting last week, I did ask the administrators how things are going in their building with HVAC, and they did comment that with REAK on campus that things have been going better. So I will take that positive feedback. I'm going to meet with Prodigy tomorrow on the the bus modular at the transportation department. And they have shared with me that what they anticipated for how large and deep the holes need to be for the foundation of the modular now need to be wider, 24 inches, not 24 inches, but 36 inches. And they also need to be deeper. As such, we need to move electric lines now, which will back up the timeline of the project. And so now we're waiting on AES to come out. So we are at their mercy to some extent to move the electric.
How,
I think what he has shared with me at this point is it would be really tight to have it done by school
well, I was more concerned about
starting.
how much involved is the Greene County inspector do?
I will find out more tomorrow.
All right.
I don't think there's one reason for the delay. So
Well,
I
I'm
will find out
expecting
more
a-
about that. I'm
I'm
not quite
expecting
sure
a-
why we didn't know the holes needed to be wider and
Another
deeper to
month
start.
and a half delay on that if he gets involved.
The county has to be involved, but to my knowledge, they have been proactive about engaging the county along in the
Good.
process. At least has been by request.
I mean, it took a year to get our bathroom fixed in the elementary.
Yeah.
So, I'll be honest with you, I'm not familiar with the lay of the land out there because I haven't been. So it's not just a matter of, okay, let's move the building project a little bit to avoid the electric lines. That's not an option.
Well, to my frustration a little bit, that's why there had been some delay in like up to this point in ensuring that we were in a location that made sense for us
Oh,
in
yeah.
terms, but also was avoiding
Yeah.
electric, like other things like
Yeah.
electric that would delay the
So everything
project.
was considered, taken into consideration. Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand.
So this was new
Yeah.
information to me
Yeah,
just last week. And
Yeah.
again, I'm meeting with him tomorrow to understand in more detail.
that's a bummer.
Yeah, there's certainly a level of frustration
Yeah.
already. I'll keep you updated, though. From an operational standpoint, you can expect our handbooks, which usually you see in June or July on the board agenda. You can expect to see handbooks and student fees on the July board agenda. A reminder that just looking at handbooks, we're taking each section kind of by year. So this year, we really looked at our attendance policies in our handbooks and made sure that those were more consistent across the district. And so there was some heavy lifting actually done with some of the language to make sure we were compliant with the law, but also consistent across the district. Next year, we'll be taking a look at student discipline and student code of conduct. So that will be the handbook project for next year. Unfortunately, we did not receive the safety grant for the high school vestibule. Just speaking to my colleagues, I was hoping this wasn't the case, but unfortunately, most of those grants went to larger districts. I think all of us in Greene County, we were close to all of us put in for the safety grant, and Beaver Creek got the grant. But I was reading this week, and in House Bill 687, there's going to be a second round of safety grants. So maybe they heard enough about it. And then, of course, as of recent events, how important safety is. So there is going to be a second round. So we'll put in for it, and we'll do our best. Ms. Fisher has met with all department heads and principals to establish their 22-23 budgets. And then we've also been engaged also in the federal funding and closing out federal funds for this year and planning for next year. And again, making sure that the way in which that we are allocating funds and setting up the budgets is in service of our teaching and learning goals, our facilities goals, and our operational goals. I will begin now the development of the Community Advisory Committee. If you can remember back to the SHP presentation, that one of the things that we want to get started in August or September is that idea of a community advisory group committee to start. So I need to start putting those members together, and I'll probably be out in outreach with you to make a recommendation for that so that we can be ready to go and for that committee to get started again for a first meeting in August or September. Mr. Reinhardt and myself actually met with the village and athletic boosters to discuss forward progress on getting the signs updated on each end of town for our state champion teams and our individual state champions, and maybe even runners up as well. So that's looking promising and moving forward. In accordance with Ohio Revised Code 3313.666B10, I need to make sure that I present to the board the reports of our bullying, harassment, and intimidation. And this is at least once a year, and it usually takes place during this time. And so therefore, at the high school, of the 8 incidents of bullying that were reported, 2 were confirmed. Of the 5 incidents of harassment, 2 were confirmed. At the middle school, of the 10 investigations for bullying and/or harassment, 2 incidents were confirmed for bullying. At the elementary school, there were 0 incidents for bullying, and I cannot yet report actually on the harassment piece as there is an investigation still ongoing. So again, as a part of Ohio Revised Code, I'm to update you, and we will also post that to the website, again, in accordance with Ohio Revised Code. Under new business this evening, you are going to find a recommendation, please, for the approval of the settlement agreement with Energy Optimizers. And so we talked about this at the last board meeting, but this settlement, what it will do is it will waive our unpaid invoices. So again, we had stopped payment. Our unpaid invoices are in the amount of $84,774.20. In exchange for Greenview dropping our request for additional work expense in the amount of $65,861.50 that we completed on our own. This actually puts the district ahead approximately 20 grand. And essentially what the settlement does is we start fresh and continue making payments on the completion of the Clean Air project. Again, as I shared with you prior, legal counsel did advise us to take this settlement as additional legal pressure will probably be difficult and expensive. So that you will find that resolution in your packet. And again, asking you to approve under new business. And that completes my superintendent's update.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions before we move on?
Didn't you just read the superintendent?
Yeah, that was just my update.
I just know if you wanted to ask her anything before.
Well, I just saw the new business.
Oh, yeah,
thing.
she went into new business.
sorry. Okay, so item number 8, new business. Number 1, approve the change order and issue resolution agreement between the Board of Education and the Greenview Local School District and Energy Optimizers. Number 2, approve for all regular non-teaching school employees and those not subject to collective bargaining agreements and all administrators employed on an 11 or 12-month basis, whether salaried or compensated on an hourly or per diem basis to observe Juneteenth as a holiday. Moving on to number 4, approve the negotiated agreement between the Greenview Education Association and the Greenview School District Board of Education for the period of August 1, 2022 through July 31 of 2025. Item number 5, approve the negotiated agreement between the Greenview Classified Education Association and the Greenview School District Board of Education for the period of July 1, 2022 through July 30, 2025. Item number 6 on the addendum, approve the job description for the athletic site manager. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Powers? 1 second. Smith. Okay.
I would just reiterate or take a focus here on the addendum as part of the negotiated agreement with the GEA. One of the supplementals that we added to the contract was the athletic site manager. The idea here is, 1, it's an opportunity for a teacher leadership opportunity, one that you've heard me kind of speak of. So maybe those that aren't administrators yet or aren't able to coach but want to be involved in athletics can help with the management and supervision of some of our athletic events. For a district of our size and of all the athletic events that we do have, we are kind of stretched pretty thin when you look at supervision, especially I'm going to put Mr. Kasner on the spot, but during football, like at the football game and whatnot and other activities during the fall, but this also provides additional support with supervision. So I did want to, I don't know if you've approved supplemental job descriptions before, but I thought that it was worth, especially since this was brand new and really kind of a new idea. And I think tailoring to a need as well, so that again, we can provide teacher leadership opportunity, but also increased help and support at our athletic events in the event that the athletic director or an administrator is not able to attend.
So this is a part-time seasonal.
Yeah,
Like
so
as
there
needed.
would be a fall athletic site manager, a winter athletic site manager, and a spring athletic site manager. So, technically you might have a coach in the winter that might want to, be a spring athletic site manager. Or
That mean they're gonna get the roof fixed on the supply shed out there?
I swear I thought it was fixed, but it's not.
Last time I looked at it, I had a whole one out and they haven't even put the
The
track,
one here by the stadium.
the one clear at the end of the by
Okay.
Preview Drive where
Well,
they put all the mats and
Yeah,
stuff.
I
That's why
could
they
have
haven't
sworn
put
it was
the track
fixed.
equipment away yet.
Okay. I'm just thought it was fixed. That's why I'm smiling, because it should have been fixed.
Well, it could have been. I haven't been out there in a couple weeks,
Okay.
but last time there was a big missing panel.
It's the
Okay.
storm. It was the storm.
Yeah, every storm.
That's right.
The storms have not been kind, that is true. So I did want to get this on the agenda so that we could post for it as well. So that's also a little bit of a, let's try to get this on there.
Makes sense.
Anybody else? Yeah, please call the roll.
Megan Smith,
Yes.
Scott Powers.
Yeah,
Teresa Wallace.
Yes.
Suzanne Arthur,
Yes.
Angela Reagan.
Yes. Motion passes. Oh. Okay, item number 9. Holy smokes, personnel. Okay, you guys ready?
Take a deep breath.
I got this. All right. I will apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. Item number 1, accept the resignation of Kelly Lawson, elementary custodian, effective May 27th, 2022. Number 2, accept the resignation of Stacy Tackett for retirement, middle school custodian, effective June 30th, 2022. Number 3, accept the resignation of Julia Weiser, elementary classroom aide. Number 4, accept the resignation of Megan Simon, high school math teacher, effective at the end of the 2021-2022 contract year. Number 5, approve the recommendation in accordance with Board Policy 1540, the administrator limited contract of Beverly Waldkin to be suspended effective August 1st, 2022, as a result of a reduction in staff due to a reorganization in administrative functions. Item number 6, approve Debbie Linebaugh, Transportation and Maintenance Secretary, Step 7, 1-year limited contract for the 22-23 school year, contingent upon proper certification, background check, and completion of required paperwork. Item number 7, approve Alicia Wagner, middle school art teacher, bachelor's Step 0, 1-year limited contract for the 2022-2023 school year, contingent upon proper certification, background check, and completion of required paperwork. Number 8, approve Matthew Moody, middle school, high school music teacher, bachelor Step 5, 1-year limited contract for the 2022-23 school year, contingent upon proper certification, background check, and completion of required paperwork. Item number 9, approve Danielle Brinkman, elementary first grade teacher, bachelor Step 2, 1-year limited contract for the 22-23 school year, contingent upon proper certification, background check, and completion of required paperwork. Item number 10, approve Heather Brooks, elementary third grade teacher, bachelor Step 10, 1-year limited contract for the 22-23 school year, contingent upon proper certification, background check, and completion of required paperwork. Number 11, approve Brooke Bailey, middle school ELA teacher, master's Step 0, 1-year limited contract for the 22-23 school year, contingent upon proper certification, background check, and completion of required paperwork. 12, approve Alexis Reaver, middle school social studies teacher, bachelor Step 0, 1-year limited contract for the 22-23 school year, contingent upon the proper certification, background check, and completion of required paperwork. Number 13, approve Courtney Eilerman Jones, middle school math teacher, bachelor Step 1, 1-year limited contract for the 22-23 school year, contingent upon proper certification, background check, and completion of required paperwork. 14, approve Andrew Reinhardt, middle school math teacher, bachelor Step 0, 1-year limited contract for the 22-23 school year, contingent upon proper certification, background check, and completion of required paperwork. Number 15, rescind the contract for Heather Hochstetler, Transportation and Maintenance Secretary for the 22-23 school year. Number 16, approve the dock and pay for Kirsten Dirth, 5/13/22 for an out-of-state family event. Number 17, approve the dock and pay for Rebecca Carver, 5/12/2022 for a family event. Number 18, approve the following summer help. Number 1, Nikki Butts. Number 2, Kate Bowers. Number 3, Bonnie Hildebrand. Number 19, approve employee changes in status. Deanna Genesi from Masters plus 15 to Masters plus 30, Step 25, effective for the 22-23 school year. B, Abby Lucas from Masters plus 15 to Masters plus 30, Step 6, effective 22-23 school year. Number 20, approve the following cooperating teacher stipends for the second semester of the 2021-22 school year. We have for the elementary, we have Debbie Campbell. Student teacher is Grace Riker for Cedarville University in the amount of $150. Greenview Elementary, we have Dalton Pate, whose student teacher is Alexis Moore from Cedarville in the amount of $300. For the elementary, we have Anita Mays, who, sorry, my student teacher is Ruthie Rogers from Cedarville in the amount of $300. Greenview Elementary is Sharon Johnson with the student teacher Shaman Jigan from Cedarville University, $300. And then for Greenview High School, Paul Thompson has a student teacher, Josiah Bittner from Cedarville in the amount of $300. We also have item number 21, accept the resignation of Regina Dalton for retirement, middle school cook, effective July 31st of 2022. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Teresa Wallace,
I'll second.
Scott Powers. Okay, please discuss.
I would like to recognize that Mr. Matthew Moody is here with us this evening as our new middle school and high school band teacher. He has his Bachelor of Arts degree in Instrumental and General Music Education from Indiana State University. And while at Eminence on his resume, he has taught a diverse number of ensembles, including the marching band, 6th grade band, 7th grade band, 8th grade band, high school band, and pep band. So I just wanted to recognize Mr. Moody and his lovely wife who is here with him this evening. So,
Welcome. We're glad to have you. Thank you so much for coming this evening.
Oh, no problem. We're visiting family and I was like, that, I think that's the day before me. And that's the perfect time to show up and, make myself feel more nervous. So I thought this was the perfect time.
Love your honesty. Thank you.
Make first impression.
All right.
Can I ask, did you guys move here from out of town?
Well, we live in Terre Haute, Indiana, so
Okay.
about 3 hours away.
Yeah.
We're gonna be moving here July 2nd.
Okay.
And so I'll have a quick turnaround right before band camp starts. That's usually how it always works in my life. I get a quick turnaround on everything. Got about 2 more weeks of lovely packing and actually going through and not being a hoarder and throwing things away finally.
I think our daughter has more clothes than we do.
Yeah, our daughter has way more clothes than us. She's gonna be 10 months old next month. So, and then obviously I'm like, we can't spend any more money. And I just went to Walmart and bought her an outfit. So we're very excited for this new opportunity. I'm really excited to get in here and really help the program and try to continue building upon it and get it to where I, as a teacher, want the standards to be, and where you guys hope that 4, 5, 6, 10 years down the road, where you can look back and see where it was and where we've grown it. So I'm very excited for this opportunity.
Oh, great. Well,
So are
welcome
we.
to our
Yeah, we're
community.
excited to have you.
Appreciate it.
thank you.
No other people hiding? I'm just kidding.
No, no one's hiding. Open to any questions. I mean, there just several retirees, and then also moving the 2 instructional coaches out of the classroom into the instructional coach role has just, opened up opportunity for shifts and obviously had an impact in the district. So surprisingly, in most of those areas, the pool was plenty. So we had lots of great candidates.
That's good to hear.
Really kind of as a surprise.
Yeah.
So we are really excited. We've been very busy, but we're really excited about what the future holds.
Yeah, good. That is
yeah.
exciting.
Great. All right, if there are no other questions, please call the roll.
Scott Powers.
Yeah,
Teresa Wallace.
Yes.
Suzanne Arthur,
Yes.
Gunther Reagan.
Yes.
And Megan Smith.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 10, discussion only, number 1, 2020 Spring Sports Awards.
Yes, thank you. So I have added this item because I've been approached to discuss the Spring Sports Awards for the COVID season back in the spring of 2020. And at the time, the decision was made such that students did not receive official plaques or awards in their freshman, sophomore, or junior year. The way I understand it, they did receive credit to be able to count towards like that end senior athlete award. But during that season, again, the freshmen, sophomores, and juniors did not receive their actual plaque or award. The seniors that year did receive their award, again, spring of 2020. So from my position, this was a decision made at the time between Mr. Reinhardt, to my understanding, Mr. Kasner, and I'm assuming also Mr. Sievers. Board members, I'm not sure that I would have handled it this way, but I struggle with not supporting the decision that was made at that time and reversing a decision from 2 years ago. There have been 2 years of opportunity prior to my superintendency to address the situation. Something else to consider is that we've already had a class graduate to accommodate differently. So it's been brought to my desk multiple times. So I decided to bring the matter to the board as a discussion item to see if you do believe that further action is needed. But at this time, I do not support the change, but I wanted the board to be able to have conversation really about the matter.
I'm the one that brought this up. I had approached Mr. Ireland and I had approached Mr. Sievers after we got back to some sense of normalcy. Asked him what we were going to do with our spring athletes. He said, I'll check it out. End of winter sports last year, I asked him again. He goes, oh, I forgot, we'll check it out. But at that time, he decided to leave us. So he had more important things to do, like transition of power. So I approached Dr. Woodruff afterward to ask her. Now, what I have found out in my discussions with other administrators at other schools, the OHC had a meeting with its athletic directors and about what they were going to do. And there were various forms of action that those schools took. The smaller schools who can barely field a team just gave everybody varsity letters. The bigger schools like West Liberty, Salem, and Mechanicsburg said, what you got last year, you get this year. Unless you're a freshman, we have no baseline, so you get a certificate of participation. The Beaver Creek schools, I believe, in Greene County took the approach that everybody got what they got last year, but if a coach believed that there was a increase in an award from the prior year or freshman year, they would recognize that. Now, Cedar or Xenia, I guess, kind of took our position that was made for us without us knowing that we'll just give the seniors their award. Now, I kind of think that that's disrespecting the freshmen at the time, the sophomores at the time, and the juniors at the time, because they did all their work. Baseball and softball were in the batting cages at Christmas, training prior to their season. Tennis was in gym, trying to figure out their serves. The track was, personnel were out here at the stadium working out and running. We have some people that spring sports is their only sports season. So they would never recognize getting a fourth year senior award. We have another award that we give for athletics. If you letter in so many sports for so many years, you get a senior athletic award. Some of those people did not get those awards.
That's not the way it was explained to me. I'm just sharing. That's
Yeah.
not what was explained to me. That was the credit.
So that's what I was confused about, was the plaques that we were talking about. That's what I was asking you about.
If they had gotten credit, that should say a 4, not a 3. And this is the fourth year varsity.
So we give those to all the kids that finish 4 years? I'm
No.
asking for clarification.
If you letter your first year, you get a varsity letter.
Right,
If you letter the second year, you get this award,
okay,
and you get this award, and you get this.
okay,
The fall athletes for last year, this year, and next year will never see this. And there's a chance that they won't see this. Now, whether we decide to go back and retroact things, it's up to you. I just want to make sure that we get a policy or a procedure in place that states if a pandemic or another natural event happens, that the governor closes school. And these kids did their preseason work, possibly even scrimmages, and their season get canceled, that we don't screw them over. I think we disrespected those students. It makes us come off as cheap. But I brought that up because I think those athletes deserve it. Now, it may seem a little self-serving since my boys are spring athletes. I'm talking about all the spring athletes: softball, baseball, tennis, track, boys and girls. Now, I will tell you something from a personal side. You know, the boys have sweated, bled, and cried tears when their season was canceled. But they feel that they've helped reinvigorate a long dormant boys track team. We won new OHC for the first time in 40 years. You know, went to districts, went to state, got to change their name on the board. But after the awards banquet, because they didn't get this, every one of those seniors were demoralized. So whether we retroactive or not, it's a board discussion, but I would like to have something in place that the AD himself is not making this decision, that there are options that they come up with, and either he presents it at this meeting or through you.
I don't disagree.
Thank you.
My question is one of clarification. I mean, I've talked to Scott, I've talked to Susie, and I know there's different opinions, and I'm of the opinion, I told Scott, you know, as much as I didn't even know we did plaques. I mean, I'm oblivious. My kid, I was lucky to see a letter. So, I mean, I was excited for that. I didn't realize that there were things in place for that. I'm confused about the credit.
The only thing I can think of is if I'm stepping out.
No,
line,
no, you're.
the only thing I can think of is you are allowed to take a sport instead of taking gym class. So that counts as credit towards your gym
Yes.
requirement.
Yes, but here's how I interpreted it. So like you're using Zach as the example, right? He still got that senior athlete award,
Yeah,
right?
but
The
it-
covered like that with all of the criteria.
Right.
Yeah, that is confusing to me
Because that
because
should have said
that's what I
4
felt like the
years.
credit was. So
So
like
there's-
if you have to say, I shouldn't be trying here, but if you need whatever the criteria, you need 2 sports and letter and
So
know.
many letters and so many sports.
correct. So it didn't like you got that credit or you got to count that
Yeah, it's on paper.
toward
It's,
on paper
Mhm.
so that you would not have been kept from that ultimate
Mhm.
senior award.
Mhm.
But why does it say 3 instead of 4?
I don't know. Just the way it was.
Um,
So yeah, it was properly done on paper. It just happens that your plaque is missing.
Well, then all of them are wrong,
Well, I mean,
but they didn't get this.
Scott,
Yeah,
hey, can you guys hear me?
yeah.
you're loud and clear.
Okay. I appreciate you bringing this to us, Scott. I know that you mentioned it to me and I saw it on the board agenda. So I did a little bit of investigating with, I tried to reach out to East Clinton and to Miami Trace. I didn't hear back from East Clinton, but Miami Trace did virtually the same thing that Greenview did. None of the spring sports received varsity letters or any award for the spring sport. And I know it really, really stinks
Did the seniors,
that were involved.
do we know?
I do not know 100% if the seniors got credit. I know that they didn't give varsity Gs out. They didn't give any awards for spring sports, but I'm not 100% sure about the senior credit. I know that it stinks for all the kids who lost out on the opportunity to participate in those sports. Could do something different. And, you know, this was some unprecedented thing that none of us could have anticipated. So we weren't really set up to make decisions about this very well. But there were so many students that lost out on, you know, a musical or a drama or graduation. There were lots of things that got missed because of this pandemic. And I just think at this point, 2 years later, we probably can't go back and fix all that. I think we probably should stand by the decisions that were made. And I do think your idea to make sure we have a policy in place going forward is a good idea. Hopefully we'll never have to deal with it again. That's my wish and hope. But I kind of feel like that's probably what we need to do with it at this point. And
I mean, I don't dispute that with you. My frustration was the previous administration was talked to by Mr. Ireland and myself, and we were kind of brushed aside. So,
Yes, and I hear you, and it's unfortunate that,
yeah.
you did what you felt was necessary approaching our former.
I mean, our coaches
Administration.
came up to me and asked me about this stuff too.
I mean, can you get further clarification on the credits for the ongoing students that have not graduated yet? Like, are theirs gonna say 3 instead of 4 if they were affected by this? Can we get better clarification on what exactly the credit meant?
I thought I had explained it the way it was explained to me. And
Well-
that you got the, like, it's like you got the letter, but
Mhm.
you didn't tangibly walk home with
Right,
anything in your
right.
hand.
Yeah, it's on paper, so to speak,
Well,
of knowledge.
If that were the case, they shouldn't have gotten this last year. They should have gotten this last year and this year. So, that doesn't make sense either. So, I mean, it is what it is.
So
I
basically,
just-
we're talking about a tangible letter.
It doesn't
or-
mean anything to us, right? But I will say,
It may-
all 11 of those seniors at the track night, they looked at me like, kind of like this.
I will also reiterate like that. I don't know if I would have made the same decision.
Well,
It's
and
the
that's,
2 years later going back,
Mhm.
reverse, like
There's
that's
a lo-
just
there's a lot of
territory
other
that's
things,
very.
that would have to then be
Uncomfortable.
redacted and
Well,
changed as well.
and
as
one of the
state.
administrators that I talked to at the regionals, who is from the OHC, he said they specifically had an athletic directors meeting and that everybody was doing something similar. Either everybody got a varsity letter or you got the year before. We didn't do a thing. That's all I have.
Sorry, I don't mean to be
Yeah, I,
nasty about it. Right.
So I think we're in agreement that we do want to have further discussion regarding policy moving forward, yes.
yes.
Sure.
And there
I
could
think
be any
pro-
kind of disruption, whether it's a pandemic, whether it's,
Right.
I'd say a weather event.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, yeah,
Mhm.
we learn from it.
Yeah.
And make sure that all the stakeholders are involved in the decision.
And you're gonna follow up on the credit.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's important.
I think it's really strange how many schools said that they only awarded the seniors, because it's not the seniors that were the ones that are losing out in this instance. So, because I did the same thing when Scott and I talked about it, I reached out to the other board members and I'm like, hey, what did you do? And Bellbrook finally responded and said that they had already made cuts and put all the kids on teams. So they gave their letters to the kids that were on the varsity teams only. And because there's so much of a larger school, that basically cut out their freshmen and sophomores, so they weren't going to get 4 years anyway. So, and they're
Well, and that's the thing.
right.
Ba-
We're
baseball-
small. They're looking at it like Beaver Creek looked at it the same way. So
Well, and that's the thing. Baseball and
There's such
softball.
wide variability to tell, I mean, and there's such a frustration as an administrator to not have guidance, that we were all left to like make the best decision with the information that we had at the time. And it's unfortunate then because there's all this variability. It happened with grades too.
Mhm.
There was all this variability in how you respond.
Well, and
It's too bad.
it's like you were saying, sophomore or not softball and baseball are hard to letter as a freshman or sophomore
Yeah.
because you don't really make the team and get playing time until you're a junior. or
Kind of to
senior.
your point, Megan, like, is this going to impact?
So
another
it
group next
really
year?
only impacts
Think
the
not.
seniors that year and the track people. Now, last year, track didn't have any seniors. So it doesn't affect them. So it really only affected the seniors that year and this year's sophomores.
Yes. This year's sophomores.
So that's why I brought it up.
thank you.
No problem.
Item number 11, comments and questions. Anybody? Going
Bueller.
once? Okay, all right. Item number 12, I know you guys are excited, is for adjournment. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Oh, Teresa, okay.
I'll second.
Oh,
Oh.
Megan Smith seconds. Please call the roll.
Teresa Wallace.
Yes.
Suzanne Arthur,
Yes.
Angela Reagan.
Yes,
Megan Smith,
Yes.
Scott Powers.
Yep.
meeting adjourned at 7:55.
See you,
good.
Suzanne.
Mrs. Megan.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes, thank you for sending me a link.
And